goodness. Oh my goodness. If I tell you what we have been since we got up this morning, and everybody's been helping us, and it has finally worked. Oh, God is good. God is real. Please, everybody, you've got to pause and you've got to share. Those of you who are on, we're in the comment section. Can you comment? Who is on? I'm not seeing any comments. Yes, Tanisha. God is good. Folks, I need you to be so vigilant right now, because everybody who was on the other one needs to come over here. We are in business now. I'm going to tell you all of what happened, folks. Everybody, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Let's do this, folks. Let's do this. Let me tell you something. Greater is He that is in us. Yes, greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. Come on, guys. Let's share. It worked out. Worked out, folks. It worked out. It worked out. It worked out. It worked out. Folks, please share. Please share. We are back in business. Yes. The Lord has been the people's guide. And I tell you, folks, oh my word, this has been our anthem. This is our song. We could play our anthem. I was telling Judy that we couldn't play our anthem. We have everything is back. Everything is back so far. And we are still yet to get everything restored. But right now, this is what we have. And you saw how it happened while I was on. We were trying to use Zoom, but we are back on. So those of you who are just you're just joining, since Wednesday about midday, I tried to set up the show, and it would not allow me to go to Africa Bridge TV network. And then what we realized, we got a message saying that there was some third party and some other app that I don't know anything about, that we were connected to that app. They asked for information. I sent the information so that they could verify that it's our channel, or they were asking for some kind of verification, some security measure. So I sent that to them, and then the next morning I got up. It was now telling me that there was another channel. And so up to this morning, I went on. I thought I was on Africa Bridge. Turned out it was not Africa Bridge. It's a new thing that was created by who, we don't know who created it. And with that, I would have lost. If I continued that way, I would have lost all of the subscribers here. I wouldn't be able to speak directly to you. So if you notice that on Facebook, I was on this morning saying I'm on, but what I didn't realize is I was on a new channel that probably some mischievous person created to create confusion. This evening Dave took some time off and went into it again. My son was helping. Everybody we know, they were helping me, trying to get everything back, change all the passwords, go into the settings, all of the security, everything, and up to the last minute, Dave was in the back there working. We thought that okay, let's go with Zoom. Let's do it on Zoom. And while I was on Zoom trying to make it happen, I heard Dave say, "We got it. We got it." This is now after 7, right? And so that's when I closed down Zoom and came on this chat, came on this link. So I'm going to kindly ask you to share. And what this is saying to me, I am glad for everything that we've been through. Today was the toughest of the 3 days, to be honest with you. But I would be up and down, praying, and then at the same time I got a little concerned and so on, about everything. But I thank God. I can't believe that I am actually, everything is back to normal. I'm speaking that, and I have one of our helpers figuring out how to get rid of that other thing off of our channel. And you know yes. They will not win. They will not win. So I need everybody. I think the first one that we created on Zoom, there are people there waiting. And so I've asked Dave to send, um I've asked Dave to send a message to that and send this YouTube link to those that are waiting in the other chat. So those of you who are computer savvy, and if you could get this link for us, this YouTube link, and go to find all of the other the ones that we started tonight. I think we started 2 tonight. Go to them and just put the link in, and this particular link in there, and invite them over. Is there anybody up there that can help me to do that? Dave is busy doing something else. So if you can help us with that, go to the link. We opened 2 links tonight. Hey, Kathy Ann. Go to those 2 links that we opened tonight, guys. You will see that we opened 2 links tonight. Go to it if you can, and just add this YouTube link, and just put it everywhere. This one, find the link and share this link. So I know, how sometimes you just click you like, and you share, but this time I'm asking you to find a YouTube link. Let me see if I can. Can we find that, Dave, and put it in the chat? Oh yes. Okay, folks. Put it in your chat. Put it in the chat. The first link is closed. Okay, good. If somebody can check to see if the second link is still up. Is the second link up? So we can get everybody over on this side. I want to thank you for all the prayers, all everybody who was praying today and all the other days. I thank you. I thank you so much. I thank you so much. They will not win. The other young man who was also hacked, his thing is restored. I spoke with him today. His thing is restored. He's fired up. He'll be at the march tomorrow, because he's never experienced anything like that. So those of you who are watching, on Monday night, I had a session with some young people, and there was one gentleman on there who was in computer science, and he was sharing his views on the wiretapping. And by the next morning, he messaged me and told me that he told me, I think it was Tuesday morning, or I think Tuesday or Wednesday morning, actually. He messaged me and told me that his Facebook account was hacked, and so, which by extension is Instagram as well. And at that time, I was just sympathizing with him, not knowing what was going to happen to me. And by the time I went to check, by midday, I went on, and I realized that passwords were not working. The password was not, it was linked to some other account. And when we tried to find it, I seen some, like some Bangladesh and all kinds of things. These people are just mischievous and wicked, wicked, wickedness. This is the heights of wickedness. The last time they did this to me was when the last time I had the march. The last time we had the march in whole town. When I did the whole town march, you remember that? That's when I lost my personal Facebook and my personal Instagram account went. Here we're doing another march again, and they decided to attack the YouTube page. Yes, yes, yes. But Euclid, we had the 2 steps on. Listen, so as the young person told me, if they go in with particular things, there's nothing. You barely can do anything to stop them. So Euclid, the 2-step verification is on. It's on. Yeah. It's on, Euclid. Well, tomorrow, folks, I tomorrow, August 16th at 10 a.m. from Kensington Oval to Independence Square. Listen, if you have not been to any of the marches, you need to be at this one. We have the permit. Somebody went to pick up the permit for me this evening. Thank you to the police who made sure that I had the permit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't want to call out anybody's name on here, but you know who you are, Inspector. Thank you. Thank you for all that you have done to make it possible. Thank you for all that you've done to make it possible. And we are here, and we have our permit, and so all we need is the people. The people who will come with power. I love that finite power that says if you're in active warfare, a change of mindset is needed. Don't expect fair play from your foes. So all of this is about, it's about shutting me down. So before this march, that's what it is. I'm telling you, because it happened with Facebook days before the whole town march. It happened. Some of you would remember I lost connection with the Marcia Week Show Facebook page. And I had to do another workaround. And all these workarounds, we're not going to say on air what we did. But we had to do a workaround here to get to this tonight. And God anointed us and gave us the wisdom. And thanks to everybody else who we've been talking to. And we won't call anybody's name on here. Yes? Now, we came on and we were fact checking. What happened is that we were fact checking the Attorney General. And I'm going to say everything I said on Monday, because I know you are on. You guys are on. I know those people are on. You come on to listen, to take back. But you have lost tonight. And I'm going to say it again. Everything I said on Monday, I'm going to say it again. Everything I said on Monday, I'm going to say it again. Here I go. The Attorney General, in your address to Parliament, in your presentation to Parliament, you omitted entire sections of the Interception and Communications Bill, the wiretap bill, or the spy bill. And I say you lied by way of omission. You lied by way of omission, Attorney General. I am saying it again. Go back and tell them. And get your technical Chinese people that you have in Barbados here. Let them come back on and do whatever they want to do. Come back on and do what? Do it again. The Chinese man that was brought in Barbados and live in St. George and on a plantation, a big spread they give him to live, because he goes from island to island to make sure people win elections. I'm speaking to you all. I don't care if you're in my computer. I don't care. God can bypass all of that. So you listen to what I'm telling you. I will let the Barbadian people know and remind them. Thank you to Attorney Greenwich, Corey Greenwich. Thank you to Ralph Thorne and the DLP for providing Mr. Greenwich with a platform, the DLP TV, that we could hear and then have him here on this channel. Thank you, Mr. Greenwich. Thank you, Mr. Thorne. And we are the echo. We're echoing what Mr. Greenwich told us, the attorney. And we could see it there for ourselves. Wilfred Abrams, when you stood in Parliament and you said in Parliament, and we played it the other night, and I'm sure we're going to play it again tonight. I'm going to rub it in tonight. Won't back down. Wilfred Abrams, you stood in Parliament and told the people who voted for you and this entire nation that the only way that the wiretapping, that the interception can occur is if there's a warrant. You all heard it on here. Sir, that's a lie. Sir, that's a lie. Wilfred Abrams, that's a lie. You attempted. Well, let me say, it appears to me, looking on, you attempted to deceive the people of Barbados. Is that what you were doing, sir? Were you trying to deceive the people of Barbados as it appeared to me you were doing in St. John? When you tried to tell the people that the reason their bill is so high, their water bill is so high, the reason the water bill is so high is because they have a leaking tap, they're leaking pipes. When there was no water in their pipes, do you realize that if he could have gotten away with that, if the people didn't rise up and say, you talking nonsense? If when he did it in St. John, the people didn't rise up and say, you are talking nonsense. He would have gotten away with it. And so we're not going to let him get away with what he said in Parliament. Sir, what you said in Parliament is not true. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm saying what you said in Parliament is false. It's a lie. The bill that you presented, Section 52B. Section 52B of the bill will come back and haunt you too, the two of you. Attorney General Wilfred Abrams. And we use this program to fact check you. Friday, Sunday, Monday. Friday, Sunday, Monday. And by the time we were ready to come back on Wednesday, is it the Chinese man that went into my computer? Sorry, I'm calling. I'm not. It's not against Chinese people, but I don't want to call his name. The Asian man, I should say. Let's say Asian man. I know his name. The people in Dominica know your name. The people in St. Vincent know your name. We've been gathering throughout the region. We're gathering information on you. We know your name. Dave, play this. Play this on here for me. Play what Wilfred Abrams said, if you can, Dave. Thank you. We're not hearing. Thank you.
Unsupervised and unregulated. Nobody knows exactly how far the police have gone with this up to this point in time.
Stop, Dave.
They were not required to.
Now, I want to ask the Attorney General and Wilfred Abrams and the Prime Minister of Barbados, if what both Wilfred Abrams said, Honorable Wilfred Abrams said, and the goodly Attorney General, if what they've said is true, follow this logic for me, everybody. That's on. Follow the logic. If what they have said is actually so, that this wiretapping and interception, communications interception, if this has been going on for so long, they said so many years, and they don't know how far the police, he blamed it on the police. He blamed it on the police. If this has been going on, somebody, listen here, ask the question with me now. Why hasn't it impacted crime in Barbados? If you listen to them, they are basically saying this has been going on and they don't know how far it has gone on. And that the police, they say the police have been tapping phones. The police have been intercepting communications. And we showed you on here the other night, and this is part of why they got upset, because we had the computer science students on here who were able to tell you clearly how they go about they get to go around to get into your WhatsApp. You remember that? So they have been intercepting our WhatsApp messages, emails. They have been doing it. He just said it. If it is that is the case, the big question is, why hasn't it impacted the crime in Barbados? Why did crime? Where's the impact of that on crime? Anybody follow the logic here? That said, Catherine, when the people are presented with the truth, the people take too long to rise up and check them. That's the thing. That is what they are. They are banking on they're banking on passivity. They are banking on that. But they need to understand that this is a different Barbados. Dave, if you could go back to, and that's why we're doing the march. August 16th, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, Kensington. You need to get out there, guys. The same way how the people in St. John stop him up and said, no. How you could be talking about our taps are, our water lines are leaking when we're not getting any water. You remember how the people rose up on him in St. John? That's how we need to rise up on them now. And the people in St. John weren't violent. They just stood up and said, you're talking nonsense. We can read. Section 52B is here, sir. And if you're saying the police has been doing wiretapping, why didn't you use it to solve the crimes? Why are you bringing it now? Why are you legalizing it? If it's been happening all these years. Huh? And I can guarantee you, if last month we asked them if wiretapping was happening, these two individuals, in my opinion, I think that they would stand right there and tell you, no, it's not happening. And when I see this kind of thing, is the reason I would never go anywhere near politics. I'm sorry, if this is what it is, you can cut me out. I have nothing to do with this kind of madness and nastiness and wickedness. If we had asked these two, in my opinion, it's my opinion, I believe that if we had asked them 1 month ago, is there wiretapping in Barbados? They would tell you no. But it's now convenient for them to tell us that it has been going on for so many years, very widespread. They don't know how, the police has been basically doing it. They put the blame on the police. Why hasn't it made a difference in crime in Barbados? And why do they think it's going to make a difference now? Why now? Attorney General, Prime Minister of Barbados, Wilfred Abrams, the Minister of Home Affairs and Information. Will you please tell the people the correct information? Why are you doing it now? as Jonathan B. is saying, if unchecked, unregulated wiretap has not proven effective in stopping crime, how will it help now? How will it help now? You've been doing it all these years and crime has gone up to the roof. People can't even stand at the bus stop anymore. I got something in my WhatsApp. I sent it to a police friend of mine to verify. And he has not been able to verify it as yet. Dave? He has not been able to verify it as yet. So folks, can anybody tell me why do you think that they are going to try to fool us, that it's going to work right now? Correct, CD. I think that's a fair question. If they had been using it all along, why do we have a major gang or organized crime problem today? They need to tell the people why. It's been done on purpose, Sonny is saying. Every Western nation has been invaded by non-nationals to dilute communities and increase crime. Alien bodies cause crime. Government comes in to solve the problem. Listen, all we've got to do, put down our foot, as we would say. Put down your foot and say no. Fix the spy bill, the spy bill. But Dave, can you just read the last part, play the last part of Wilfred Abrams to me? Let's listen to it.
Get a warrant. There was no oversight on it. We know it occurred. We have now brought legislation to protect the people of Barbados, protect the institutions. We have now said you can't do it because you feel like it. You can't do it and we don't know what you're doing. Yes, we accept that sometimes you will need to gather evidence by interception. I'm just going to call it wiretapping because that's easy. That's just easy for me. It rolls off my tongue better. We know you might have to gather evidence by wiretapping. But you, before you need to do it, have to go and request a warrant. Get a warrant from the Chief Justice.
Stop it there.
It occurred without
lies. Mr. Abrams is stressing, as it says here in this article, that the legislation can only be enacted with a warrant from the highest judicial officer in the land, the Chief Justice. Lies, Mr. Abrams. You have told the people of Barbados lies again. Your colleague, not mine, your colleague stood on the steps of the law courts with his lawyer, his lawyer with his hand, the lawyer's hand on that your colleague's shoulder, and he said it, and it was carried by Starcom, and it was also carried by other news outlets. And he said that you told a lie. You lied. Under oath, if your colleague is right, if your colleague is right, should we, the citizens, trust you? Especially when you stood in court as the Minister of Home Affairs and Information and said this. It's your legislation. You would have sat down as a cabinet and been through it. And you just you tried to sell us something the same way you tried to sell the people in St. John that it was their leaking pipes. You did it. Your colleague said you lied on the oath, not me. On the oath. You let me tell you, only Barbados you could be going around, nothing came of it. Only Barbados. Where else you lie on the oath? If it is true that you lied on the oath, where else can you lie on the oath and walking up and down like nothing happened? Section 52B, it's right here on the screen. We went over that. You guys only quoted section 5.1. You thought that we did not have people in this country who could read. We don't have lawyers. We don't have lawyers who understand the law and who would come to explain it. Thank God for Ralph Thorne, the same one that you love to hate. You all love to hate. Thank God for Mr. Thorne and all the lawyers from the DLP and Mr. Corey Greenidge who did his homework. If it wasn't for them, we would have heard you, Abrahams, and you, the Attorney General, and believed you. And I want Barbadians to never forget this. It's not about forgiving people. Don't bring that in here. It's not about forgiving people. It's about it showing you the character of the people that are leading. This Abrahams here, I don't know how he still has a ministry. This Abrahams, you remember when he put out a lying report on GIS and said that they did a thorough investigation and there were no problems with GIS. Did you remember that? This is the same minister. He said there was no problems with GIS. They found no irregularities. Everything was working perfectly with GIS until people like Marsha Hines, Tempu, I know I was part of a march. Letters were written to him and tell him, listen, as women in this country, we are giving you no rest, sir, until you tell the truth of what was in that report. He had to go back, do the report, and now came back with all of these findings of all that was wrong. When did you lie? Before or after? And this is the character of the person that you have leading, the Minister of Home Affairs. This is the character of the person. You try to fool us on so many occasions. I am not calling you a liar. I'm saying, in my opinion, all the things that you said, sir, not factual. That first report at the GIS, not factual. Telling the people that it was because of their leak pipe, not factual. You stood here and we clearly heard it, sir. Not factual. What you had to say tonight was not factual. And if that's why you all got mad and decided to get rid of me from here, so be it. I'm going to call it out. And that is why we are marching tomorrow. That is one of the reasons we're marching tomorrow. And come with, you try to slip it in. Yes. They brought this August 7th. Kadumen finished August 4th. They started this August 7th, and their intent was to finish it on Wednesday. What date was Wednesday? Wednesday was the 13th. You believe that? In 6 days, this was supposed to pass. I didn't hear you. Right? They brought it on the 7th. After everybody just woke up, all the drinks in people's head, and you brought it there, and then you were just going to sneak it off a couple more days. Thank God for Mr. Thorne. If he didn't stand up and flag it, the Prime Minister got him and said, okay, we're going to then let the minister, we're going to let the president then choose the oversight team. And I'm using the wrong terminology right now, but you know what I mean, to give oversight. But the minister still pays. The minister is still going to be the person who determines the salary of these people. The minister still plays too much of a strong role. And I'm going to show you that a little later. Dave, you have something here to play from Mr. Thorne? No, you're just showing him, yes. Let me read some of these comments. As you said, tricks, and more tricks. Dave, in the meantime, before I get to this one, can you bring up GIS? Because I want to show you, the people. I want to put it all together. That this bill is shrouded in lies and trickery. After the Attorney General, the Minister of Home Affairs got up in Parliament and gave us those half-truths, the lies of omission. Then the GIS, the Government Information Service, printed the same thing that they echoed. So we now had it, we heard it, it was audible, and now it was in print. GIS. So if Dave could bring up those 7 GIS documents that Attorney Corey Greenwich, he fact-checked the GIS. Are you all sharing this live? As Dave is looking for it, it's in your WhatsApp, Dave. But up till now, you can't get integrity legislation passed. Let me tell you, I don't understand Barbadians. I don't understand what we're doing inside of here. We need to be shutting this thing down and letting them know, where is the legislation? Where is the law that is supposed to govern you? You don't want to pass that. Why you don't proclaim it? Why hasn't it been made law, Prime Minister Mia Mottley? Where is the integrity legislation? But you want to come to police us. You don't want any policing on yourselves. You all go in, a lot of you in government, you go in, nothing. That's why a lot of you are in there. You can't say anything. A lot of you outside of this, you have nothing. A lot of you in government, you're needy. That's why I see a post of somebody and all they're complaining is what they did not get. I tell you something. There is none of them, B, D, P, Q, can say they ever, this woman, come and beg them anything and want anything from them. There will never be I want this to my child and excuse me? Lack of integrity. That's what you all have. That's why the integrity in public life legislation cannot be proclaimed because you lack integrity. And I'm showing the people tonight. You both stood there and told the people half truth. You did that. You have zero integrity. The government of this country, zero integrity. Come through here. This is the GIS. And what you see in red is what the lawyer, Corey Greenwich, put on. And I don't know if they've sent the link. Send the link to everybody, Dave, in the I don't know who got the link. Let me see if Miss McLean can come on and join me and help me tonight. Dave, can you send Miss McLean? What else you need to know? So here we go. They say, let's move this from here. I'm going to show you what your government is doing to you. I'm going to show you what your government is doing to you, my brothers and sisters. Yeah, this is why they don't want me on here. The devil is a liar. He's the author of lies. Author, write. They write the lie. You write the lie. And this here is the author. You hear? The lies that they write it. Somebody shared that with me yesterday. I can't remember who shared it. Law-abiding citizens have nothing to fear. And Corey Lane fact-checked them. Corey, not Lane, Corey Greenwich. Corey Greenwich. By way of the DLP. Through Mr. Ralph Thorne. Yes. Fact-check this. Yes. But because Section 52B of the Act allows the Commissioner of the Police to wiretap without a warrant, a judge would not have the opportunity to make sure that it is targeting criminals only. So ordinary people can be targeted without their knowledge. GIS, you have been fact-checked. No, you grow up believing that GIS. How many of you out there grow up believing that GIS is going to tell us the truth? How many of you out there, you grow up believing GIS is going to tell you the truth? Let me wait on the comment section. If GIS puts out something, you listen, okay, what is GIS saying? But I'm telling you, this is a government information system service. Cannot trust them. This is your proof, guys. Your proof is right before you. You cannot trust the GIS. Not under this government. You cannot. They are reporting what this government is saying. And if this is a lying government, then they're going to just print lies. It's a government information service. Correct. Government information scandals. Fact check them again. Come through, Corey Greenwich. Come through, Mr. Corey Greenwich. Fact check them again. Admissible evidence. They say for the first time, lawfully intercepted communication can be used in court so that criminals cannot walk free simply because the material was previously inadmissible. Section 52B says that the wiretapping that is done by the police commissioner or the anti-corruption director without getting a warrant is not admissible in court. They can use those intercepted communications, however, to go to the high court to get a warrant after the fact. Fact checked you, GIS. Stop telling lies on behalf of the government. Stop telling half truths You have a duty to the people of this country. I'm going hard on you tonight. You should, let me tell you, God gave me the privilege to be on here tonight. And I'm telling you, I'm going to tell it as it is tonight. GIS should be providing facts. Huh? It is a propaganda machine for the government. Guys, you need to share. You need to share the link. Folks, this is why we are going to the streets tomorrow. We are tired of this. Number 3, fact check. Come true, Corey Greenwich. Come true. Fact check them, Corey. What else would you need to know? According to them, strict judicial approval. Lies. Lies, people. GIS. But poor things, somebody sent them this to print. And it's not the first I see the GIS print lies. Do you remember when we went to Washington? Who remembers that? I have a good memory with these things. Dave says, write them down, but I got them in here. You remember when we went to Washington? Listen, by the time they left Washington, and by, guess what? The morning, GIS put out a thing, how the government did so well, and the commissioners, they understood the point of the government. Lies! If we did not come out and have this show, you remember the same night, and we showed what, you know what, GIS forgot, and the minister who provided them with that information, the lies, they didn't realize that the hearing was shown live on Zoom. Who remember? So when the GIS put it out, and what the government did, and everybody was like, what, did we watch the same hearing? Where the commissioners at the Inter-America Commission on Human Rights, they were saying the government needs to go back and talk with the citizens, and that the commissioners, would like to give technical assistance to fix the bill. We were watching it live. So everybody knew that they were telling lies. It's propaganda. So by the night when we came on the show and we started to tell everybody, we were laughing at them. And here it is again. GIS. If you work at GIS, it's not what I'm saying is not against you. But the reality is that where you work, you put this out in print for the people of Barbados. So here is Corey Greenwich fact checking them. Yes, only the Chief Justice or judge can authorize a warrant. But the police commissioner or the anti-corruption director general does not have to, David, you make me lose it, man, and I don't know it. I'm reading what the lawyer said. Put it back for me, Dave. It jumped. It jumped. We're at number 3. Yes? He says, but the police commissioner or the anti-corruption director general does not have to apply for a warrant. Section 52B makes this very clear. So there's no strict judicial approval. That's a lie. Do you see that? Is there another fact check there? GIS, you've been fact checked. Wilfred Abrams fact checked. Attorney General fact checked. Prime Minister Mia Mottley fact checked. We cannot trust this government. If after this you are still trusting this government, I don't know. You cannot trust this government. When I listened, I got so annoyed, I tell you, as they bring up number 8. I got so very annoyed when I saw what they did to stand up before us, the Barbadian people, and say these things. And they have the document, he had the document in his hand. I was so angry about that. And it made me realize, I know all politicians are not the same, but let me tell you something. I will have no parts of it. I will have no parts of it. And that's, I tell you something. I tell you this, guys, as much as you guys know, I suppose I support Mr. Don. I don't join political parties. It's the truth. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to do it, because whoever goes in and doing this thing to the people of Barbados, I will always have something to say. I will always have something to say. That's why I can't join no political party. I can't. I can't be no diehard, nothing. I hate this kind of behavior. I could never. How do you stand up, take a microphone, and do something like this? And then give this to the GIS to put it out. Do you know how many other things? Go ahead, Dave.
Liar, the lion, he laughed till he sweat. He said, Mr. Depot, ain't said nothing yet. If you really want to hear about fishing, let me blow your mind. Now listen to something. When you're talking about fish, you just hit this spot. I was hoping you did believe it or not. The fish your father caught, for you it was great. But it's them small fish my father does use for bait. Lion went ahead on points in the show. Completely eliminated Mr. Depot. The next man to beat was really outrageous. He asked the judges if he could lie first. The judges asked Lion. The Lion agreed. Say any topic we'll pick is alright with me. He outrageous, I strong. Let we meet head on. And when we done, see who had fit to wear the crown. You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Let it go. Let it go. Shook it up. Yep. The outrageous say that he knew a tailor comes to make it.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Folks, what that song is saying is what is going on. I'm saying, do not trust this government. Don't trust them. Don't trust them. And you should hold the same vigilance for whoever is in power. Whoever is in power. Demand integrity. We knew they had a lack of integrity when Prime Minister Mia Mottley campaigned on integrity. Cynthia Bradshaw, the way she... And now where is that? They're passing all kinds of bills to shut us up and to police us, and nothing to police themselves. You could trust a group like that? You could trust a group like that? And I say you hold that for whoever comes in here. This past week, my stomach turned to believe that they would stand up and do that. And how did we expect anything else from Wilfred Abrams? How did we? I don't know how that man is still a minister. Under his watch, not so many prisoners get away. All kinds of nonsense at the prison, and he's still a minister. And people are there on social media, all up into him. Let's look at Corey Greenwich. Come through Corey Greenwich. Let's fact check the GIS, the Government Information Service. They said the wireless interception is only for serious criminal matters. Corey says to them, yes, but the police commissioner does not have to request a warrant because of Section 52B. I tell you, that is going to haunt you. You think you could do something like this and get away in America? All of the news stations will be all over the. Can you imagine? You doing something like this and you think you're going to get away with it in American politics? Because there's a media. There's real media. But these here commercial considerations. Remember what they did to Ronnie? And listen, by the way, let me tell you something. I invited the announcer on the show. And at no point did I ever invite Ronnie Clark on the show. I had always invited the announcer, the Calypsonian. The announcer was invited on my show on all occasions. I have never invited Ronnie Clark on the show. I just need to put that out there in the public domain for all those who need to hear it. But back to this situation of fact checking. They said no political interference. We're to believe them. Who was the Attorney General when all of these politicians? Who was the Attorney General? Who remember? Who was the Attorney General when the biggest wiretapping case was in Barbados, was made public? When there was a whistleblower called Inspector Bowen. And there was the biggest wiretapping case that became no case because it didn't go to trial. Nobody was prosecuted. But it hit the newspaper because one policeman decided to be the whistleblower. Inspector Bowen, you remember? Who was? This is what I'm trying to tell you. We're making people fool us. Are we making people make a fool of us? Who was the Attorney General at the time? I'm not even putting it on my new screen. Tony Paris? Anybody else knew who was the Attorney General at the time? I could say it because it was written in the newspaper. Mia Motley. Mia Motley was the Attorney General. I'm talking about political interference. That there will be no political, and we're supposed to believe that. This is what I want us to just think, Barbadians. Think. If Mia Martley was the Attorney General, according to the newspaper article, if Mia Martley was the Attorney General when these things were happening, they called Darwin Dutton. He was a commissioner of police. And as far as he was concerned, from the article that I read and my memory serves me right, he says he was taking orders. And even Owen Arthur was being wiretapped. Miss McLean will come and tell you her stories of wiretapping when she was in government. Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Brenda Stewart was stopped. Even the child advocate, Faith Marshall Harris, it's there, it's listed in the, I'm not making it up. See it here? Weaponization against opponents, historical wiretapping targeted political rivals. Owen Arthur, judges were wiretapped. How you gonna get a fair trial? Faith Marshall Harris, not criminals. They didn't list any criminals here. As this document says, no evidence exists that the government will use wiretapping lawfully. Past action suggests it will again target dissidents. It's going to target people like you and I, not gangs or drug lords. How is the government going to wiretap themselves? We hear what say gangs and drug lords, because a lot of these in government are mixed up in the whole thing. They're going to wiretap themselves. So here it is, Mr. Greenwich, Minister Greenwich, not Minister Greenwich, Mr. Greenwich, Attorney Greenwich. And I see Mr. Bob there coming in to help me. He says the director, I'm going to bring Mr. Bob in while I read. The director of the Anti-Corruption and Anti-Terrorism Agency is a political appointee. Let that sink in. It is standard practice, EZD, and this is the thing. It is standard practice for political dissidents to be wiretapped. But this document says there'll be no political interference. That's what we're talking about, EZD. If you would read, you would see it. It's right here. It says no political. I'm reading their document and fact checking the government's document. And I'm saying if political interference occurred when Mia Mottley was Attorney General, are we to believe that none will happen now that she's Prime Minister? I'm speaking plain to you. But you all don't want to accept it. See? No political interference. The director of the Anti-Corruption and Anti-Terrorism Agency is a political appointee, and he can wiretap without a warrant, Section 552B again. And he does not have to submit an annual report of his activities. It's in the bill. It is not far-fetched, therefore, to conclude that he can be susceptible to political influence. Welcome, Mr. Bob.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Marcia. Good night to the lawyer opposition. I was following your comments. And sometimes I wonder if this is an attempt to legitimize your past sins and wrongdoings. You want to make it legal because you know that this will come up at some point in time as part of your legacy. So, and I see this as a matter of trust as well. And you ask, your declaration of giving the vote and watchman was a moment where you asked the Barbadians to trust you. But trust should be on both sides. And I'm saying that to come up with a bill that targets everybody in society says to me that you don't trust the people who elected you. And if you don't trust the persons who gave you the vote on 2 occasions, all of the seats, then it is time for you to step aside. If she knew that this was going to be the where she was going to be in her political career, she should have pursued or continue to pursue the appointment to the UN. But you don't come up with, but they have been doing it. They were trying to pass the bill on cybercrime, and now this is a step further, because every step of the way you're seeing them target the general Barbadian populace as if we're all criminals. And I'm worried about how this government sees us as people that they represent. And until they come back and say to us and not be adamant that this is what is going to become law, then we know that we should do the right thing at the next election. If you don't trust me, I don't trust you. It is as simple as that.
Agree. Agree. I think it is a matter of trust. And if Dave could go back to the political interference, this is a very serious document, GIS. GIS, we have to hold you accountable. Because you printed error. Go back to the political thing, Dave. No political. Look at what this says. No political interference. Politicians cannot, in any way or in any form, request, authorize, or access intercepted material. But the director of the anti-corruption and the anti-terrorism agent is a political appointee. And the minister is going to on the there is a team, and for some reason, let me go back in my notes here. This is the team that gives oversight. The minister, though there's no saying the president is going to appoint the 3 persons, but the minister is still heavily involved. And the minister is a political person.
Don't they all report to the minister?
Well, I mean, no, they said that the president is going to be that going to do that particular job. In fact, I think as we go on here, he continues to fact check that.
Because that announcement about the president seemed hurried. Once it became the talking point, there was a hurried effort to quiet the noise, and it's to suspect that announcement about the president was to quiet some of the noise that they were experiencing.
Yes, Mr. Thorne raised it and made a big thing about it in Parliament, and that's, I keep saying to us Barbadians, when you hear people say, Mr. Bob, 30 love again in your skin. In whose skin? In your own skin. When you have people who are going to laugh and say 30 love, no, laugh at yourself. Look in the mirror and laugh at your own self. It's at you. Because if he wasn't in there, then that would have gone. So go ahead and laugh at yourself. You're being stupid.
Yeah, that is a level of ignorance in saying that 30 love. When they're experiencing so much as it relates to their own well-being, their ability to live properly from day to day, their own ability to make ends meet because of the policies of this government, and you're going to make laugh and support at your own suffering, you have reached a level of ignorance that you can't explain, as if you're dotish to say those type of things just because I think sometimes they say that because there's nothing else left to say in terms that is sensible in a response to a member of the opposition or the leader of the opposition bring attention to some of the issues that are going to affect us as masses, as the masses of people. And I can't understand why some person would, after all that we are going through between 2018 and now, that we will hear those type of statements from persons who I believe that Barbadians are very educated. They have a level of common sense that will speak to making decisions and saying things that make sense. And I'm saying that we can't reach a stage where we allow those type of comments to take hold of persons. And there are few people who say it, and those are the persons who are paid or given kickbacks to and are in influential positions that are placed on social media that have access to thousands of people who say these things over and over again, so that the general population believe that that is what it is, or would not go to the polls because it was decide I'm staying away because it does not make sense. That is to create that type of frustration because they know that any large turnout of voters means some kind of defeat for them. And to keep
Correct.
people away, they say these things to create more frustration because the in 2018, the people just blindly trust Mayor Motley and this group blindly with the expectations based on what they were experiencing at that point in time, and they were angry. But this is a different time. This is a different time. That trust that you have placed in this party has been eroded, and don't allow persons who are getting the benefits from this government to allow you to fall into that trap again.
Correct. Very well said. Very well said. I'm waiting for Miss McLean to let me know if she's ready to come in. She's ready. And while she's coming in, I want to say this, folks. I want to say this, that I know you see Miss McLean comes on here all the time and she does such an amazing job. I was singing her praises to a group of young people today. She doesn't even know that. Um, Dave and I, we have the utmost respect for this woman you see here. And I was speaking to a group of young people today at lunch. And what I love about her is that at no point does Miss McLean try to push me to be part of the DLP. Never. We've never had those conversations. Never. Dave and I, we're not members of the DLP. As I told you, we often, Mr. Bab, we normally vote independent or whatever. And I've never had any pressure from Miss McLean as much as we respect her because she is a woman of her word. She helps people. Okay? And she's not your average politician, even though, especially this week, I'm so disgusted with politicians. But I want to say something, guys. If we are to be honest, if all of us are going to be honest, look at a situation like this, Miss McLean and Mr. Bob. Look at what Mr. Thorne was able to do in terms of this bill already. They had to take it back. This is why it wasn't passed on Wednesday, Because of Mr. Thorne. I'm not part of the party, but I'm telling the truth. It is the truth, and the thing is, it's staring us in the face, and we can never accept that. Because we drank the Kool-Aid from we were children. This is how I think and how I must be aligned, that you can never open your mouth and your eyes and say, well, you know what? I thank Mr. Thorne for that. And recognize, Ms. McLean, the importance of an opposition. Can you imagine if we had 14 or 13 others with Mr. Thorne in the house, in the lower house, Ms. McLean, especially on something like this? Welcome, ma'am. We're still fact checking GIS. We're gonna keep going through, but let you give some opening
Hi,
remarks.
good evening.
Good evening.
And to your wonderful guest, I always say co-host or whatever.
Whatever.
I have been listening to you very closely, sir. Um, and I must say that I enjoy your contributions. You see, quiet people, when they start to speak, they show you exactly who they are, because Mr. Bob is the one to talk a lot. In fact, he delivers, he acts, if you look at him as a coach over the years and so on. But I really appreciate your contributions. I've been listening a lot. And thank you for the compliments, Marcy. You will tell me later what you told us young people about me. But
I told them what you see is what you get, and that you are not, because somebody was telling them, but she's a politician, and she's associated. I said, listen, if Miss McLean is involved with you in anything, it's not for political reasons.
Marcia, let me speak to those young people, because they can go back and listen. My name is Maxine McLean. I am 69 years old, going on 70, and I like to say, all right. And I am a politician because I served this country for 10 years as a minister of government and as leader of government business in the Senate. I was a minister in the Prime Minister's office for 11 months, and I was foreign minister and minister of foreign trade for the rest of the period from November 2008 until May 2018. People need to stop this nonsense about classifying politicians, all of them, as these evil people. There are a lot of those. And we are seeing it play out in Barbados right now. But I will say this. First of all, you need to draw a distinction between a politician. If I were a priest, I preach the sermon at St. Stephen's Sunday, but I'm not a priest. If I were a priest, that is who I would have been or would be, or who I am. I was a politician. I was a university lecturer for 17 and a half years, and nobody discredited or spoke in derogatory terms of that. I was a management consultant for 10 years after that, and I served on the board of Goddard's Enterprises Limited, Stock Exchange, Caribbean Commercial Bank, RBTT Bank. First president of the city of Bridgetown. Should I go on? I could read my entire bio. You can go online and find it. I make no apologies to anybody for having been a politician, because I will tell you this. As Marcia, Mrs. Week said just now, who you see is what and who you get. I went into politics and I came up with what I went in with. And people who stand up there talking this nonsense are some of the biggest hypocrites and dishonest people there are, because they're the ones who will seek to corrupt the same young people by telling them nonsense. My interests, having been invited to run as a member of parliament, and I say to the late David Thompson, a man who I knew from the time he was a boy at Combermere, on the school bus and on the bus and passing my house on Black Rock, and for whom I had a lot of respect as a youngster who gave a lot from the time he was a boy to this country, who invited me to run, and I told him I had no interest in elective politics. And I told him I would serve him in the capacity that I was able, and I took my training and experience in management to assist the Democratic Labour Party. I make no apologies for that. I am a child of the 60s. I'm a child of independence. I went to Queen's College in September 1966, 2 months before Barbados became independent. I am a child of parents who had 11 of us, and I saw what it was to be denied a secondary education, because after you got the marks of Combermere, in the case of my late brother Morris, and an interview was done, and they discovered that his parents were working class people, my father being a tailor, my mother being a housewife. He ended up, and He didn't tell me this. My parents didn't tell me this. But a gentleman who went to school with him at St. Stephen's told me this. He said when they got and you see your brother Morris, or Mac as he used to call him, was real bright. But you know what? He was denied on what was basis of merit, what he should have been given. So when I support the Democratic Labour Party, it was because of all the things I saw and benefited from, and saw working class people around me benefit from. So when people talk about politicians, I don't go out there doing anything for anybody in any dishonest way. In fact, I will say this, my late brother Wendell McLean, who the whole of Barbados knows and knew, said to me years ago when I said to him as a girl, 18-year-old leaving school, and asking him if he could get a job for me. And he said, you know what? He would have done it for any stranger. But he said, you know, if I ask a favor for you, I would have to give a favor. And if there was a mentor outside of what my parents gave us, it was my brother Wendell, who gave his life for this country. And it is a characteristic which is demonstrated by my siblings and myself. So when people talk to you about that, tell them, if a politician, yes, but what is wrong with being a politician? What is wrong is when you see some of those behaving, and as I repeat myself again, the very ones who like to say to young people and point. And Marcia, I will tell you this. An individual, and this is to your young people and to Barbadians listening, and to the people that Alwyn was speaking to just now about going out there and vote. Individuals come to this country to serve in all kinds of capacities. And I speak of those who come and make sacrifices as politicians, because if you do what you're supposed to do, you make big sacrifices. If you go about flying about in people's private jet, and cannot tell Barbadians the cost of what you're paying to do that versus commercial. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but if it is efficient and cost effective, show us the numbers. Let us know. You know, if we go about there taking all kinds of favors and whatever. I smile because I'm going to bring you, Marcia, y'all just trigger something in me because people need to do it. You remember people talk about $7,500 and a certain member of this government? Well, that number 750.
It's a certain member of this government. It was in the new
Vice President, the Deputy Prime Minister.
Yes,
and I will say this now because that number 750.
Yeah.
Remind me, Marcia, to go back to a debate in the Senate of Barbados when I was leader of government business. And I will show you that just before the end of the last BLP term, before it left office, in 2007, it wasn't 7,500, it was $750,000 that was given as a grant, not a loan, from the Enterprise Growth Fund. I raised it in the Senate, and I can go and find the annual report. And the question was asked, why in the dying days of an administration would somebody be given a grant of $750,000? I will share this and I will stop because you just got me going. Before I was a politician, I was a director of 2 commercial banks. And one of those commercial banks happened to be the bank where people will remember David Thompson at Haggett Hall speak of a check for $75,000. It's a magic number, you know. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you this. He wasn't the only person who got a check. But that was the one that David Thompson had information on, but that was only 10%.
Wow.
And 10% of 75 as 10% means it was another big number, like $750,000, right?
Correct.
That seems to be a magic number. So don't start me with this nonsense about people. Yeah, they're dishonest politicians. They're disingenuous politicians. They're hypocrites.
There's some lying
But
ones.
there are some of us who come to this process with clean hands and leave with clean hands. And that is what my late brother Wendell, who died on February the 12th, the day that my parents were married 2025 years ago, would have left. He said to his daughters before he died, when you think of your father, you will think of a man of integrity. And if on my brother's dying bed, he could say that to his children. I say to people, that is the legacy. If I didn't have the same principles before that he left me and by which I live. And I would end by saying this because this is something I remember I had to defend myself because we talk about wiretapping. Wiretapping used to happen when I was a moderator on Brass Tacks and Tell It Like It Is, okay? Of my landline and maybe my cell phone. And I will tell you this. One of the last acts that I did before I went into politics was to stop moderating that show the day I agreed with David Thompson to work with him in the background of the campaign. And I wrote my resignation to Voice of Barbados. And I dare anybody go up on the records, they should have the file and look for the letter. You know, so Marcia, I want you to say to people, if we don't have honest people in politics, God help us. So when people seek to label and say she's a politician, so what? I'm a politician of integrity. I'm a politician who fears God. And I'm a politician who seeks to do the right thing, who operates on the basis of a moral compass. And that is how I was before. That's how my parents brought me up. That's how I was in my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, my 60s, that I am now. And I trust God willing, if I see next year and I begin the 70 that the Lord give me, I will be that.
You are good, and you're going to get there.
My soapbox, but those things.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
but it's good. It's good. I mean, and what I've been talking tonight about showing the people, along with Mr. Bob came in and joined me, that in this particular instance, we were able to show the people the omissions that occurred in their presentation, right? And you can lie by omitting something.
exactly.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes.
I mean, somebody. I use the example of a child who asked, "Did you do your homework?" And they only did English because they don't like math. And they say, "Oh, the mom,
Yes.
you finished your homework?" Yes, I
Yes.
finished my homework.
Yeah, blatant deception.
It's deception.
Yes,
And
blatant.
I'm using tonight's show because I know this is why they got mad with me on Monday. This is part of the reason. And those young people that were on.
Mhm.
They were mad about Monday's show and scared. 6 strong young people were on and were just talking about the nonsense that they see and
You know,
unraveling it. You saw them.
yes, you know why they will be angry with you and the young people? Because they believe that they have created a culture in Barbados where young people will gravitate towards the wine and dine and the partying. And that is how they see our young people in Barbados. And I want every young person that's listening tonight to tell the Barbados Labour Party that we are not just head and belly. You can't feed us and take away our future. You can't offer us drinks and food and we sign off on an X. Those days are over. And that is what those young people represented. And they were angry because they present nothing to young people except some partying, have a good time, and you turn up at the polls because you're saying to them, if you want to maintain this type of lifestyle, if you want to have a party here every other month, this is who you vote for. But those young people that you had on your program demonstrated a type of young person who are industrious and thinking about what their future should look like.
Marcia, I want to say something about this wireless interception. And I really want to agree with Alvin about the young people. They are thinking, they're more than mouths and bellies. I like it. They got something else in here, some gray matter, and they have souls and so on. In other words, they're more than just objects to be manipulated. But I want to look at this warrantless interception that is permitted because, and I think I might have mentioned it on this show, but I want to reiterate the point here and I can make the point slowly. We talk about wiretapping as we go after criminals. And we agree that if there's a process, they're dangerous type, but if there's a process that is properly carried out, then you pursue criminals and so on. And I will come back later to speak about some of these. But let us look at how, because of what you're highlighting here, this thing can be abused with impunity. And I want to repeat, it could be abused with impunity. One, because you can undertake to intercept without a warrant, given what is set out in the law. Now imagine, and then as you would recall, if after that interception, you discover that you have evidence to go and get a warrant to further investigate, you can. But think about it this way. I'm not a criminal. You are not a criminal by any stretch of the imagination. Alvin is not a criminal. Alvin is not a criminal. But they want for partisan, and I use the word politics, but let me be very clear, partisan political witch hunting. They want to go after you, me, or something because they figure that your program is doing damage. You're educating Barbadians. They may want to go after me because they know nothing about me. She's a politician. On the other side, I want to know her business because, as they like to tell you, we like to have dirt on you and we have a file on you. I've heard that so many times. One of these days, I'll tell you about how they try to intimidate people with that nonsense. And so they decide that for what, in the interest of national security or something, I am going to intercept. I'm going to tap her phones. I'm going to check her emails. I'm going to listen in. I'm going to do whatever, intercept this, whatever the case may be. Now, they know very well that she's not a criminal because they have other motives. Having done that and gotten what they want, it ends there. Now, I can't do anything because the law says they can do it because they have not told me what are the parameters of national security or whatever words they use in the legislation. As people have agreed, they're not defined, they are pretty vague, and so on. So that is subject to interpretation, good, bad, and indifferent.
Yeah.
And ridiculous. You understand? So having done that, they have what they want. So they will say, okay, we suspected her or we suspected him. We have spied on them. We have collected information, invaded their privacy. And having done that, it ends there. I have no recourse. Because unless I can, based on the rules, they operate within the rules, but all they were doing was listening in, malicious and in my business, right? And so there's nothing to go to court because there's nothing illegal, criminal in all they've seen and observed. They just know my business and they put it together. And then when they want to intimidate you, they will come and say, I know who she'd have gone out with. That's the fella there, who is whoever, whatever. Or whatever the case may be. This is her friend. This is who she's talking about politics with. This is whatever. I mean, because they will tell you this. And I can tell you because then I was a moderator and because in the past, as you would have heard on the show, you could tell when people were listening to your phones because some funny sounds and so used to happen. That's how I would describe it. Yeah. Somebody's listening in, but if they want to listen. So what they would do, they have that information. But as I was saying, once I said something to make sure it would be repeated, it wasn't true. It was set up and it came back.
Yes.
And it didn't come from the person. There were ways to do it. And there were also techniques to check these. So at the end of the day, my big worry about this piece of legislation, it is about, from my perspective, it is less about securing the correct legislative framework to enhance the efforts of the police, etc., to pursue criminals. but more to legitimize arrangements to spy on people. Let me talk very bluntly, to spy on us, John and Jane citizen, and to do it in a way that allows them to do it without a warrant. So this warrantless interception, as you see in section 52B, I challenge the Attorney General, the former Attorney General, the Prime Minister who was one. I challenge the Deputy Prime Minister who was a lawyer. I challenge, but he don't come up with too much. He used to get a lot of education on law, Minister Abrams, because he doesn't strike me as very solid when it comes to these things. But I challenge all of them on all the sides. Anybody who's a lawyer and reads this to tell me that I am wrong. And if what I just described is not a very likely scenario for abuse of people's privacy.
And as I said earlier, we saw it before. Guys, this is what we are marching about tomorrow. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. And tomorrow there is a protest march at 10 a.m. You're starting at Kensington to Independence Square. It's not okay to just be typing in the comment section, calling brass tacks or whatever other programs that you call. That's not all there is to it. We need to take it a step further. And as we did with the cybercrime bill, tomorrow we are hitting the streets. We need them to understand that we know exactly what is going on here. We understand what is going on here. And we have concerns about Section 52B. And that's one of the sections that we want taken out of the bill. Very, very important. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., we need you to come at Kensington Oval. I have coming up very soon is going to be Apostle Scanterbury is getting ready to come on. And there is Reverend Ferdinand. Listen, all of us coming on here tonight.
Before they come on, Marcia,
let me hold it there. I want to just finish the announcement.
So okay, sorry.
Yeah, folks, I need you. This is very important. I'm not running a talk shop. The Marcia Week Show, we educate, we motivate, we mobilize, we agitate. And we have seen changes. This is not this is not a talk show. So you might come and we're happy that you're here, but it's one thing to have over 1,000 people coming on each night and you're typing away and you have a march and a handful show up. What's the point here? Tomorrow, guys, put on your clothes and get out there, even if you come for half of the march, even if you just turn up at Independence Square, do something. Do something that you've not done before. When you come and bring a little donation, bring a donation for us. It's important that you do that because that's how we're going to pay for the truck. That's how we're going to pay for the generator, or we pay for the sound system. I don't know yet if we're going to keep getting the, little thing from with the police. I need to shut my mouth on that. All right. So, but we need you to help us. We used to get the water donated. We don't have the water tomorrow. Okay. We don't for reasons we don't not sure. The young man is not able to provide. We need at least 4 cases of water is needed tomorrow. And 2 bags of ice. That's how we do it. We're going to tell you straight. Right? We have a little donation. We try to keep some of it to help some people to get to school, to buy a school uniform. I'm real with you. That's the truth. So if you can bring some money tomorrow when you come. You don't have the money, still come. Right? Wear comfortable shoes. Right? And come out, man. Don't sit home tomorrow. Come. All right, let me welcome, where my people at? They're gone?
Marcia, before you welcome, you welcome, because I'm going to step out when they're coming for a while. I want to read this because in all that we've been talking, we've heard the name Darwin Dotton, former police commissioner in cases and all of this. This is an article because somebody called me and reminded me and I looked for it. February the 11th, 2018. Former Commissioner of Police Darwin Dutton has categorically denied being involved in any illegal wiretapping during his tenure as head of the Royal Barbados Police Force, RBPF. Breaking his silence, Dutton revealed that not only was wiretapping used by the force, and this is an article called "Not on My Watch," okay, so he said during breaking his silence, Dutton revealed that not only was wiretapping used by the force as a criminal investigative tool since 1991, but noted that current Prime Minister Frandl Stewart, as well as late Prime Minister David Thompson, each knew about the technique. Last Wednesday, the issue of illegal wiretapping was ventilated during debate on the Telecommunications Amendment Bill 2017, with Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair and Owen Arthur calling for a full investigation into the allegations which fingered Dutton in a report by the Police Service Commission in 2013. Also, Arthur also stated that during his 14 years as Prime Minister, he never sanctioned the use of wiretapping, but Dutton noted it was common practice for all Prime Ministers to be informed and to give authorization. But you see, and as I said, in February the 11th, Prime Minister Stewart had in an interview said not under his watch. So I would tell people, having seen all that we've heard recently, go back and look at this and see who was saying what and what came to light about some of the same people and the cautions that were made. I had to read that so people can go.
Thank you.
Now this is start.
Yeah. Well, let me welcome Dr. Ferdinand Nichols. Can you hear me? You're on screen.
Good evening, Maxine. Good evening, Alvin. Good evening,
Good evening.
And good evening, loyal opposition. It's really good to be back on schedule, Marcia. I'm so glad that you were able to overcome whatever it was, whatever interceptions that occurred with regards to your show. Really happy to be back with you tonight.
Well, it's great to have you all. I mean, just to hear you're all, you don't even know how the sweat that all that happened today. It was tough from early morning till even when I was on. We started this show 3 different times, three different platforms, and then the last one, I heard Dave. Usually, what happens? God bless my husband. He's calling me, Marcia, it worked while I was on air. So I just want to thank everybody who helped. And just to hear you guys and see you guys tonight, I told you, I can't get you on, but I thank God that you're able to be on tonight. I can see Apostle Canterbury. I don't know if you can hear me. Apostle? Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am. I'm having some difficulty hearing you. I'm trying to get that adjusted. So I'm working on that while you're speaking.
While I'm speaking,
you're working very, very faintly.
Faintly. Okay. Do you want to stay in the green room and then give me a thumbs up when you're ready?
Yeah, I'll go back out and come back in to see if that works.
Yes.
So
okay.
just give me a few moments.
Thank you so much. Well, Dr. Ferdinand. We are, as you know, tomorrow is a big day. It is a big day, and the reason I'm saying it's a big day, we could tell that somebody did not want us to advertise it. Somebody wanted uproar before this march, so we'll be distracted, and we could tell. And for me, whenever I see stuff like that, I'm more determined. My husband and I will say, well, if the 2 of us, we're going to go up there, right? And so what do you say to the people tomorrow about this protest march?
Well, Marcia, I think it's very important for people to turn up. And I think I heard you mention it. It's fine to have the number of people that we have view the show and the comments and everything. But at the end of the day, what is going to impact from a national perspective and show a serious perspective where government is concerned is when they see a significant number of people marching with regards to this matter. I think people need to take it extremely seriously because, as I have listened to a number of the presentations made on the show over the past several nights, particularly those by Corey
Greenwich.
Greenwich, right?
Yes.
Yes. How he so meticulously laid out the areas of concern. And I believe that it is important for people to realize that this has the capacity to impact every citizen in Barbados on their cell phones, on their social media, on their WhatsApp, on their emails. This has the capacity fundamentally to give the government a wide open hand to implement and to interfere and to intercept any communications with anybody, private conversations, phone, you name it, without any without any, not monitoring is the word I not want, without any control. Let me put it that way. And so I believe it's very important for Barbadians to turn out tomorrow. This is not about Marcia Weeks. This is not about the Barbados Labour Party or the Democratic Labour Party. This is about the rights of citizens of this country to be entitled under the Constitution, which incidentally is a reflection of the United Nations Human Rights Charter, to privacy. That is one of the guarantees of our Constitution, and that is under threat with this current legislation. So it's really important for people to turn up, to show in their numbers their disapproval of the methodology and the processes that are involved in the matter.
Yes, yes, very, very much so. And I know that Mr. Bob, you're not in the country, but I know you would have been at this march, wouldn't you?
Of course, because if we value our privacy as a country and as a people, we will show the government by turning up and saying to them, keep out of my home. Unless stay out. If I invite you in, don't come in. If you have with the effort in terms of crime and you have any suspicion, then we don't argue against that. But why are you taking the liberty to have access to everybody's privacy? Why are you passing bills and want to make law that you can listen into everybody's all the people in your country conversation? Russia comes to mind, where there's no acceptance of opposition at all. So therefore, you expect those type of things to happen. Not in Barbados. How did we get here? It cannot be. Are you saying to us that the criminal element has so invaded our country that every household should be listening to? What are you saying to us as a people? That we are all criminals and potential criminals? But we know Barbadians to be generally law-abiding citizens, Christian society. Not all Christians, but we know what is right and wrong. And to have a government which says to us that we don't trust you. So therefore we have to watch you. But the other way around, we should be watching the government. We should keep an eye on this government.
Yes, exactly.
So they need to wiretapping. They need to be spied on. And I want to ask a question too. With this wiretapping, are we going to see those finally know who is important? But because the importers are not the normal normal Tom and Dick on the street, are we going to get with this wiretap? Are we going to finally get a control on the drug trade? Are we going to see persons who are locked away in communities being questioned? Or is this just for us who are the normal citizens of this country, who will use our voices and will have the majority vote that can determine who the next government is that you're going to make us afraid of you? Because that is what it is. You have to be afraid of us. And this should not be. We should be watching the politicians and in the years before when they start to watch themselves. That might have been the best thing. but no, they want to watch everybody. And I would say again, is this legitimizing your past sins and wrongdoings?
That's a very good question. Tanisha is saying people don't like what this government is doing, but would stay home. Someone would protest for them. And she says, people stop hiding, come out, do not fear. And when you look at what has happened to me and this channel and and all of us, because it's really our voice that they're seeking to stop. It's not that this thing happened to me. It's all of us. Wow, I'm not even seeing. Hmm, I tell you, Apostle Scanterbury, are you there? Can you hear me? He's completely stuck.
Mm.
But your thought on that, where Tanisha says that people don't like what this government is doing, but would stay home because we have the march tomorrow. Someone would protest for them. This kind of thinking that somebody, Dr. Ferdinand, would protest for me, right? And she says, people stop hiding, come out, don't fear. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I believe that there was a time during the last administration when the Prime Minister, the unions, the private sector, I can't remember what it was, Alvin, you might be able to refresh my memory. It was some legislation or some tax that was being
NSRL.
introduced.
NSRL.
Yes, yeah, the NSRL. And there was a massive turnout. But you see, Marcia, that that was a march, and this is why I said it's not about you, it's not about the BLP or the DLP. Unfortunately, Barbados has become so partisan and so political that people no longer pay serious attention to what is right and what is the correct thing to do where a country is concerned and the nation is concerned. And we're advocating for people to do the right thing. We're advocating for you to take a stand against something that is immoral, unjust, and to a large degree illegal while it is being passed through Parliament. And so I would really want to say to people, it's not a case of being afraid. There's no, you don't need to be afraid. When we lose our fear, I think is the saying, Marcia, they lose their power. And the government needs to see that people are not satisfied. Alvin, I know you're not in the island, but I can tell you, everywhere I turn in Barbados, I am yet to hear a single person say to me that I'm happy with how the government is working and what's happening in our country. I have not heard that statement yet.
Yeah.
Let me just speak to this fear and it is like you're holding the country up to ransom. So therefore, you're saying if you talk against us, your family can't work.
That's duress. Alvin, that's duress. You're holding somebody under duress.
Duress, yes.
So in order for you to have your freedom, you got to do as I tell you.
That is it.
And you cannot speak against me. That's duress.
So we need to stand up. They can't fire all of us.
If I may, Marcia, I know we're
right
waiting for Apostle to join us, and I was really hoping that he would be able to be here. But while we have been on, and I've been watching the shows and so on, I did a little research. Alwyn, I'm not sure. Are you in the U.S., Alwyn?
No, I am in Canada.
You're in Canada, okay. I did a little research, Marcia, where the United States is concerned with regards to wiretapping. And in the United States, wiretapping requires a court order or a warrant based on probable cause, showing that a specific crime is being or has been or will be committed, and that intercepting communications will provide evidence of that crime. Additionally, one-party consent is often sufficient for recording conversations, meaning one party involved in the conversation can consent to its recording without the knowledge of the other participants. But there are some states where two-party consent is required. Now, according to what I've heard with regards to this wiretapping, the police commissioner, and I now understand, and if I'm wrong, Marcia, please correct me, the police commissioner and the head of the defense force, Barbados Defense Force, can intercept without your consent and without knowledge and without a warrant. And this
Yes,
is not,
that's correct.
that is correct? Okay.
Yes,
Now,
that is
that's
correct.
not permitted in the United States. Now, let me turn your attention for a moment to the Barbados Constitution, because the Barbados Constitution protects individuals' right to privacy through several provisions. Specifically, the Constitution ensures protection for the privacy of one's home and other property, and prohibits arbitrary or unlawful interference with privacy, family, home, or correspondence. Additionally, it safeguards against unreasonable search or entry. There are several articles, Marcia, in our Constitution, Article 11B of the 1966 Constitution, which we are still under. We haven't changed the Constitution. We're still under that Constitution, guarantees the right of privacy to one's home and other property. Article 20 prohibits or prevents interference with correspondence. Furthermore, the Constitution prohibits arbitrary or unlawful interference with privacy, family, home, or correspondence. So technically, without proper legislative permissions,
Yeah,
the
you're
government.
breaking up a bit there, Dr. Ferdinand. I don't know if it,
Sorry, are you hearing me okay now?
let's try again. But yeah, you were breaking up
Are you hearing me all right now?
a little bit. Yeah, keep going. And
Okay.
I have Apostle is in as well. But go ahead.
Okay, well, we'll go to Apostle, and I'll just check
No,
my
no,
system.
no. Complete the thought that you were making.
Okay, yeah. What we are therefore hearing where this wiretapping situation is concerned is that the Barbados government is violating the constitutional rights of the people of Barbados if they are going to give the police commissioner or any other person in authority the right to interfere or intervene or intercept any communication without a court order or warrant. It is required. And if that is not forthcoming, the government is violating the constitutional rights of the people of Barbados.
Correct, and that's basically what the lawyer was saying, Corey Greenwich, that if you're going to, if we're going to take that right away, you need to at least it be done by a court order. And while I just want to address something here. This is especially if you see EZD's comment here. All we have been saying tonight, you came to this program with one thing in your head, and you have not, I have to say to you, sir, you have not gathered anything. You have not gathered anything. You came to write what you want to write and to say what you want to say, but you have not gathered anything. Look at what you wrote there. Rev, wiretapping everywhere requires a special court order, but the system has been abused. That's not what we're saying here. And that's not what is happening in Barbados. The issue in Barbados, EZG, is that there is a section in the proposed legislation where a court order, where the warrant is not required, sir. You're not hearing. You came here with your mind made up of what you want to write in the chat to get to sway people a certain way without listening. I'm sorry, guys. In the rush, I forgot to close my windows. Okay? So this is exactly the mentality that we are living on. We've explained that to you tonight. We show you the section in the bill. We've been talking about, yes, you only came on tonight, you said, but we've talked about, but look at what you wrote. You came with what you wanted to type to sway the people. You did not listen. You didn't get anything out of this discourse. But let's go to Apostle Canterbury. Welcome, sir. Let's see if we can hear him tonight. Welcome, Apostle.
Good night to you, ma'am. Great to be here. I hope that you can hear me now. I'm happy to be on the show tonight.
Loud and clear.
Okay. All right, great. Good to see you, Madam Weeks, and Rev. Good to see you as well, too, my friend. Great to be on the show with you guys tonight.
Good night, good night,
Yes.
good night, good night.
Great to have you. Well, we have the protest march tomorrow, and I called you and I said, Apostle, I called you early in the week. I think
Yes.
I called you Monday, I think, and I said, listen, this march is going down. Are you going to make it? And what did you tell me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to be here for sure. I promise you I'll be there.
Wonderful. And why is it important for you think, to be at this march, sir?
Well, I think I think I want to start my comments here on this particular foundation. And it goes back to what you were just saying. Someone asked me if I would ever leave Barbados, and I said the only reason that I would ever contemplate leaving Barbados and residing somewhere else is because I am challenged at and living in a country where the common sense of our people has dipped below 30%. And I am challenged at living in a country where people no longer seem to understand how dangerous it is when a government is lying to you, when you're being deceived, when executive power is being misused, when they're being robbed, when they're being discredited, dishonored. To live in a country where this is blatantly happening, and yet you still have this section of people that would vote for this administration no matter what. It's a dangerous place to live. And I'm going to tell you this, why it is important, because I was stopped in Bridgetown earlier this week by a gentleman who was a police officer. And he said to me, Mr. Scantlebury, he says, when you get on the Marcia Week show, he says, I want you to tell them for me that this administration has been doing wiretapping ever since. All they're doing is trying to cover their tracks.
Yep.
He says, when you get on the Marcia Week show, I want you to tell the public that they have been wiretapping for a long time, all the way back to Owen Arthur. In Owen Arthur's days, this administration was wiretapping people here in Barbados. And what they're doing now is not presenting anything to the people. They're only covering their tracks. And he said, I want you to also tell them that everything that they're doing to the people of Barbados is illegal. There's absolutely no constitution in place for these people to be doing what they're doing and making the type of laws that they're making. And he said, I want you to say that when you go to the Marcia Week show. And I want to make sure that if he's listening tonight, I want to make sure that I said it. So this is a police officer. He says this has been going on. They have been doing this in Barbados maliciously. They have been doing this in Barbados. This is not something that's now started or something they're now about to implement. He said, tell the people that this administration, this one, and he's been in the force long enough to know, this one has been wiretapping individuals' phones all the way back to the Arthur administration. So they know what they're doing. And basically what's happening right now is that all they're doing is trying to cover their tracks. They're implementing things, but there's no foundation behind it. For instance, if you're going to issue some type of document for the police to do a wiretap on 50, 100, or 400 or 500 persons, that information should be given to the public. You don't have to give the names. You should give that information via their public relations officer. That information should be given to the public. Say, we've been given permission by the government to wiretap.
Are you guys
Um,
hearing him well, or is it me?
Yeah.
Is it my Wi-Fi?
I'm hearing him.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
hearing them as well.
You're
So
hearing him well.
you, yeah.
It's me.
Okay. So it says, well, you give the police permission to do wiretapping on 200, 300, 400 persons in Barbados. Okay. So we need to have that documented so that at any given time when the government changes, because once the government changes, that law will still be in place. Okay. It's up to the new government to continue with that law or to have it changed. But here's the reality. Once that new government comes into place and there's investigations and we find out that the government has given more leverage to the police to carry out wiretappings, which is an abuse of executive power, then the minister, whoever the minister is in charge of that area, the attorney general, all of those individuals need to be brought to justice once their investigations have been carried out. That's the use and abuse of executive power. This is a very, very dangerous element that this administration is undertaking, from the 10 laws to this wiretapping. All of these things are levied against the people of Barbados. And this is not going to stop the issue of crime. What's going to stop the issue of crime is tougher laws, tougher legislations against the people who are operating in the underworld. And from what we understand, this administration knows who they are because they said they're going to sit down and talk to the gang leaders. So they know who those persons are. The reality is
I paid them
that,
too.
okay, okay. So even these individuals have come forward and they have said to the public, we had an agreement with the Barbados Labour Party. We kept our word. We kept our side of the bargain. They did not. Okay. We saw the 4 young men that said that right now, these guys know who they're dealing with. They no longer care. They no longer are in agreements, into any agreement with the Barbados Labour Party. They've got the Barbados Labour Party exactly where they want them. And they know if there's any moves to interfere with what's happening, they could spill the beans. And so, as the gentleman said to me, all of this is just an attempt to cover their tracks. Now, he would know because he's been in the force long enough to know what's going on. I was made to understand that they're even, they have individuals that come here with technology. They can park outside of your house or, you know, a little distance from your house. They have technology that they can hear everything that goes on. Okay. And I was told that they've already infiltrated, you know, meetings of certain companies in Barbados when they have their board meetings. I've heard a lot of that has taken place already. So what we need right now is an investigation into whether or not this administration has been illegally carrying out wiretappings in Barbados. We need to deal with that before we go to legislation allowing wiretappings. Okay, so I'm going to be at the march because I think it is important for Barbadians at large to understand the real serious issue behind all of this stuff that's happening. And it is the fact that we have a government that has now gotten to the place where they have to carry out all of these agendas that they have signed on to. They're now the puppets in the show. They're the ones who are reading the speeches that are handed to them. They're the ones doing the things that they're being told to do because of a lot of these things that they have signed on to. So I'm going to be there to, you know, lend my voice and lend my support to help sensitize Barbadians and also to wake them up, because the time for sleeping is over. The time for Barbadians to wake up and realize what's happening is now.
Correct. Gentlemen and viewers, I'm going to hop away again on Easy D. So, Easy D says, yes, Marcia, there's a reason I'm doing this, and I hope you can hear me. I'm hearing myself well, but we're not sure. You can hear me okay, Apostle?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you
Yes,
well.
hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. He says, listen to what Easy D is saying, because I said I'm not sure if he's listening. He said, yes, Marcia, I'm listening very closely. We have established that the system of wiretapping was being abused. Is that the main point of this discussion this evening? Easy D, let me ask you something. Do you believe that in this legislation that is being debated right now or going to be debated in the Senate on Wednesday, that wiretapping in this legislation can only be done and will only be done through a warrant? Or you would say court order. I want Easy D to answer that. In this current, the current legislation, can wiretapping be done without a warrant?
Now he knows that. He knows
Yeah,
it's
well,
been happening.
So
he knows
I want
that.
him to answer it because
He knows that.
this is the problem, and I'm singling it out, guys. I tend not to do that with viewers, but this is the problem right here.
You know,
This is the
Marcia,
problem.
Marcia, and even more than a warrant, there has to be specific, detailed information with regards to the application for that warrant. You can't just go and ad hocly. And if that is what the government is suggesting, that out of a suspicion, listen, in the United States, and I have it before me, that's why I can quote it. In the United States, they indicate very clearly the application for a warrant must detail the particular
Well,
offense under
I'm just going to
investigation.
stop you there, Rev. Look at Easy D. Wow. Wow. This is it, Dr. Ferdinand. This is the issue right here. Easy D is a BLP supporter, and he heard what Abram said. He probably read what was the GIS, and I must say that as I spoke about the GIS, I did say it, but I want to make it clear that it's not necessarily the staff of the GIS that is putting out the false information, but as I said earlier, they are writing what they were given. Okay, what
Correct.
they were given, what Abrams would have said, what the Attorney General would have said. And I even said I don't want to be beating up on the staff, but the truth of the matter is that it came from GIS. I even said that. But I just wanted to clarify that it's not necessarily the staff, is what they were given to put out. But Easy D, have you read the legislation, Easy D? I am deliberately doing this, gentle people, tonight. Apostle, I'm doing this because this is the problem in Barbados.
I just explained to you briefly why I told someone if I had to leave Barbados, what the reason would be. And this is a clear demonstration of the fact that we have now gotten to the point where common sense, wisdom, understanding has gone to an all-time low in this country. Now, I'm going to say this. A number of years ago, during COVID, when my wife and I were at Paragon, okay, we received a call. We were still under the Barbados Labour Party at that time. We received a call from Mr. Franklin, Caswell Franklin, and he advised us. He said he was informed to tell us to turn our cell phones off because we were being listened to. We were being monitored. Our cell phones were tapped while we were at Paragon. And Mr. Franklin was told by someone who knew what this administration was doing while my wife and I were at Paragon. And he contacted us and told us to turn our cell phones off, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't reach my members at the time. He told us our phones were being monitored. So we had to turn our cell phones off. Okay, so I don't know what Easy D is trying to do. But I'm not sure what the D means, but the time has really come for Barbadians to generally understand that you're living under a dictatorship, a very ruthless dictatorship government. Okay, those of us who are trying to wake Barbadians up are seen as the renegades, the conspiracy theorists, people who don't like anti-Mia. But the reality is that you want to look at this nation and realize that you get fired for speaking out. Everybody must toe the line or you're dispensed with. Okay, you lie to individuals, and you have individuals who are in government, in the Senate, who don't seem to have any kahunas to stand up and say, I can't be a part of this. I can't be a part of someone telling the nation, look, we're selling whole town to a conglomerate, and before you know it, it's already sold to an individual. I'm not going to sit back and let those people, or even consider that those people to be my government. So, these folk who believe that, this administration is the best thing since sliced bread, understand that there are other different forms of bread out there, and many that are way better than sliced bread. So these folk in Barbados must wake up. They have to wake up. You cannot continue to have representatives that you never see, and then a government brings them back in another election and asks you to vote for them again. It's ludicrous. You have an attorney general that should not even be speaking, because when Adriel Braffett, the former attorney general, he had 19 homicides in 1 year, he stood on a campaign platform and said that he needs to resign. He doesn't know what he's doing. We're now in the 8th month of the year. He's up to 37. And you're telling me almost double in less than a year, and you should still be the attorney general? Now, these are things that needs to get into the people's ears, and they have to hold on to power, Marcia. They have to hold on to power because they cannot afford for anything to spill. They cannot afford for anything to leak, and that's why they're doing everything that they're doing. Okay, they're lying about what's happening at Harrison Point. Okay, 1 minute, Pendry, they're going to be storing their equipment there. The next minute, you're hearing 300 Ghanaians are coming in, and that's where and so you can see that they're ringing Barbados with this entity to keep power in their hands. But they have to understand.
Him? Are you hearing him?
Yes.
Okay, they have to understand. They have to understand. The end of the day, Barbados belongs to the Lord. We're gonna rip this out of their hands, whether they like it or not, Marcia. And the time is approaching. It's getting shorter and shorter. They know they are just on the edge of the cliff before something happens in Barbados to expose every level and every deception, every lie, every element of witchcraft, everything that they've been doing to disrupt the destiny of this country that God has put his hands on. God is going to do something about this administration, whether they like it or not, and all of us are going to get to see it. I promise them that.
Amen. Amen. I want someone says that I am being distracted by Easy D. I am not. I can tell you this. This is not distraction. I'm using this as a method of getting the information out, and also to make a point to you how we listen in this country. Okay? How we listen and how we don't listen. Look at Mr. Bob. Look at what Easy D, who sat here for about more than 2 hours, what he said about the legislation information that we have up on the screen today that is out of date and it's obsolete. Can you address this for me? Because this is a serious kind of thinking. Talk to us. Talk to us.
That he is referring to this current legislation that we are just
that was debated in Parliament last Tuesday. Go ahead.
And he's saying to people that is out of date or obsolete.
Yes, that's what ECD is saying. Who comes on
Listen,
here and makes all these comments?
that is what they are. That is the type of distraction that they want to bring to your program. But Easy D don't even believe that himself. He's here disgusted. And if he can't be truthful to the people, he should leave the show. That's what we say to
Pretty
him.
much.
He has done. I say, Easy D, you have done your job. Go back
Yeah.
and you go back and tell them that you caused some disruption. You got your attention, your few minutes attention. Go back. Tell them you've done your job.
Yeah.
Marcia,
I mean, because
continue.
it's a stupid comment. It means that you either are not able to comprehend, you have not been listening to the debate, you have not read it, you know. So I wanted to, because ECD has been away from for a long time, and so we have not had these nonsensical comments in the chat. But I wanted to bring it to the attention of everybody, and we normally just skip over it. But this is what is happening in the BLP quarters. He's an example. He's a sample of what is happening. It's right there in black and white, Dr. Ferdinand, but they will never accept it. It's rather amazing. And that is part of the problem that we are having in Barbados.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dr. Ferdinand,
Exactly.
go right ahead.
Yeah, I've been facing some ridicule on my Facebook page as well, because I've been posting a number of things, including things from this show, because there are people who I have to say have drunk the Kool-Aid. They're incapable of making an assessment of their own. They are so partisanly blinded that they are unable to establish any perspective of their own. They are incapable because they always depend on a third party to tell them what's going on. We watch the debates. I watched the response of the leader of the opposition. I listened to the Attorney General and a couple of the other members of Parliament with regards to this. We heard what they said. You referred to one of them. I don't recall his name, if it was Abrahams or the other one. I get mixed up with them, and to be brutally frank, I really am not interested in their names anyhow. But who will stand on the Parliament floor and blatantly lie to the people of Barbados?
Exactly.
And as a matter of fact, if they had any members of Parliament with any intestinal fortitude, they should have stood up and said, "Sir, on a point of order, you are misleading the House."
Come on.
It
Come on,
is a
Reverend.
fact of life that a
Come on.
warrant is required. That is a fact. The United States implements it. UK implements it. Every democratic country in the world implements it. This legislation does not enforce, implement, or specify anything to do with the warrants, anything to do with the causes. It is broadly expressed. Language is very broad. And when it sits in that position, Marcia, it means that the government feels that they have a right now to intercept whatever they feel like intercepting, because it's such a broad case. Now, let me say this nevertheless. We are all concerned about the state of affairs in Barbados, and we understand the need for this particular type of procedure. Nobody is saying that it's not necessary. What we are saying is that it is too broad, it is too liberal, and it needs to be amended in such a manner that it does not impose upon the privacy of the citizens of this country, guaranteed under the Constitution. Now, give you grant, Marcia, we do not have a Republican Constitution. We have an old Constitution. The only amendment that I am aware of, and I stand to be corrected by the legal professionals, is the shift from a Governor General to the President. But the Constitution that Barbados established in 1966 remains in force today. We have not had a new constitution placed in Parliament
Exactly.
or presented to Senate and sent to the President's House to be proclaimed. So at this particular point in time, regardless of what the government has to say, the reality is the language is too broad. The protective mechanism of the judiciary is absent, and it is present in all other jurisdictions that engage this aspect. Marcia, you have to, even in terms of the United States, and I go to the US because I don't know if you all remember a few years ago, there was an issue in America with regards to this same thing, where people's private citizens' phones were being tapped. And it
Yes,
was
that's
addressed
correct.
in the Senate, it was addressed in Congress, and it was made clear that the government was illegally, and they had to stop it.
Yep,
They had to stop
that's
it.
right.
What we are saying to this government is, don't let us have to get into that position. Correct it now. Make the amendments now. Make the adjustments now. Because we have caught on to the fact that you are listening into people's conversations without their consent. Private conversations. Suppose somebody
Exactly.
don't want the husband to know they're having an affair with somebody else, but you listening in. And so to get something done, you're going to hold that over the head. Duress again. And let me
Yeah.
say, Apostle, that several days ago, the Lord showed to me, and as you know, I'm very careful on this show because I respect what Marcy has established. I respect the fact that there are several other persons of different persuasions and faiths that are present. And so I tend to try uh, to stay in line with the aspect of the show. But I
Right.
want to say this: the Lord showed to me that this administration, particularly and specifically at the top, is being set up for a fall.
Okay.
And I have already said to people, it is a dangerous thing to tangle with a child of God.
Yeah.
You can
Very
get
much
on
so.
in a country how you like, but from the time you put out your hand and touch a child of God, you are in for a serious ramification from the
Yeah.
God that protects them. And the Lord has shown to me that He is going to bring this administration down in such a manner. It's going to be an embarrassment to them, and it's going to be blatantly shown before the entire world, because
Yes,
we
sir.
have a condition of international globalist agenda being imposed upon this country. And God is going to make sure that when we make the comment, the Lord has been the people's guide, that He is not joking about it.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I agree with you, Rev. I agree with you, Rev. Yeah, I've seen that since 2005, and unfortunately, um, what we need right now, we need people who understand where Barbados should be going as a nation versus where Barbados is going. Okay, and right now we are not on the road to where Barbados should be going as a nation. We're just on the road to Barbados going. And it's because we have leadership that's no longer about Barbados. We have an administration right now who seem to think that, Barbados should just toe the line and go along with whatever global agenda they have out there. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's what the Lord wants for Barbados. And until we get more individuals beginning to realize that the future of Barbados does not look bright for our children, okay? And we have to do something right now to fix that so that we can get back on the path of the righteous. The Bible tells us the path of the righteous shines brighter and brighter onto a perfect day. And we're not moving towards that right now. But I know for a fact, Rev, you're on point where that is concerned. This administration is going to fall so hard. I mean, and I know that there are people within the administration that would like to get out right now before that happens. But they're going to make that one move, and that's when the Lord is going to say, "That's it. That's enough. That's as far as
That's
we go."
enough.
And
There's
we're
just
not
one
too far
area.
from that.
Sorry,
We're not too far from it.
Yes. Well,
just one area,
guys,
Apostle.
it's 9:58. We're 2 minutes away from 10 o'clock. And I just want to once again thank the viewers for traversing with me all on these different platforms tonight. You were hanging in, you were setting up praying hands, you were, you know, I just want to thank you all, for just being there with us and staying the course with us here on the Marcia Reed Show. And I know that I'm hoping and I'm believing I'm going to see many of you tomorrow. All right, at 10 o'clock. I am hoping and praying that I'm going to see you at 10 a.m 10 a.m. tomorrow. Kensington is where we're going to meet tomorrow, because it is very important. And I tell you, look out for another march the next week, because we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. This to us is like the cybercrime bill, you know, and so we're not going to stop. So let me go to Mr. Bob, and can you take half a minute to give your thoughts tonight before we leave? We'll speak to the people of Barbados about the importance of coming to the march. That's what I would like our final thoughts to be on tonight. Go right ahead, Mr. Bob.
Yes, but tomorrow and wherever marches are called, for you to demonstrate your rights and to speak to a government about what is wrong or right, there should not be any hesitation or fear. And one of these times is tomorrow, which means that if you value your privacy, if you're saying to the government what you are going to plan to pass into law is wrong, you need to show up and stand up and show up. So tomorrow is very important for us to send a clear message to the government of Barbados to stay out of our phone calls, stay out of our houses unless you are invited.
Wonderful. Apostle Canterbury, you're take a half a minute and let's close.
Well, I'll be looking forward to the march on tomorrow and lending my voice to sensitize again Barbadians to the danger that we are about to find ourselves in, and not only as a nation, but also, you know, this administration that's proven over and over again that they're not really about Barbados. They just have to do everything they need to do to, you know, cover their tracks and make sure that they're not caught with their hand in the cookie jar. But the reality is that my main point is to wake my people up and to help them to understand we have to become more consciously aware, more consciously alert than ever before. And we must remember it is our vote that put them there, and it's our voices that can move them if we do what's necessary.
Well said, sir. And I left Dr. Ferdinand for last. We did say happy birthday for him when I thought he wasn't going to be able to make it down because of the technical challenges I was having. But on behalf of the Marcia Week Show, I want to say happy
birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Rev.
And
Thank you so much.
We are grateful to have you here on the Marcia Week Show. So you have the final word tonight, sir. Go right ahead. What do you say to the people about the march tomorrow?
Turn up. Turn up. You need to be there, not for Marcia Weeks, not for Reverend Nichols, Scantlebury, or anyone else, not for Mia Motley, not for Ralph Thor, not for Ronnie Yearwood, not for anyone other than yourself and Barbados. It is important that we send a message to the government, and I agree with Alwyn, stay out of my house until you are invited. If you come into my home without my invitation, you are a burglar, and I will reserve the right to deal with you accordingly. So I would say let us turn out tomorrow. And Marcia, I would like to also highlight the fact that the roadside parliament is on as well tomorrow.
Yes, right after
after the march. Right.
Yeah,
so,
and the speakers are the people. It's a true roadside. We're not even going inside, Ken. We're going to park up outside and put there is a roadside. The mic is there. Come up to the mic, and it's not about myself or Reverend or whoever is going to be there.
It's about the people.
Apostle. It's about you, the people. Step up to the mic. It's a roadside parliament. We're going to have a debate right here on the side of the room. Literally is what is going to be exciting. And but thank you, Dr. Ferdinand, for reminding us of the roadside parliament. Those of you who have said to me that you want to bring a donation for Julia Nichols, who we're believing God for her full healing. We're praying for her every morning. But go ahead and you're free to do that tomorrow. Those of you who have said that to me. I believe Dr. Ferdinand will be there.
Yes, I will be. There's no belief, Marcia. I will be there.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm not hearing the end of what you're saying a lot because there's something wrong with the audio. Okay, so I didn't hear what you just said.
No, I said I will be there. No belief. I will be there.
You will be there,
I
okay?
will be
Well,
there.
well, thank you. I want to thank again everybody for sticking with every prayer. We felt it, Dave and I. But I want to give a big shout out to my husband, Dave Weeks.
Yes.
I have to do that because you see me in the front, you see my face, but you don't understand the work that he does behind the scenes. And this is not to elevate my family, but the reality is that that man took time off from work today and working feverishly. Didn't matter if I wasn't finished cooking. But he wanted to make sure, and he was back and
Nice.
forth and back and forth. You know, a lot of people don't know his master's, you know, he has an MBA and it's in, you know, information systems. And
Right.
I'm blessed for it, you know, and I just want to thank you, Dave Weeks. He hates when I do this. But this tonight, I want to thank my other children as well. I can't call their names. Those who helped and those outside who, again, I cannot call their names. But I can call my husband's name. To say thanks to
Sure.
everybody. And Dave Weeks, God bless you. I could have seen the determination on you at about 5 o'clock this evening, 5:36. I saw the anointing on him, Apostle, and I figure something is going to happen tonight. He was determined.
Okay.
Everybody else was gone about their business, and Dave was making sure that this thing worked tonight. Sir,
Yeah.
God bless you on behalf of the
Yeah,
people.
got it.
Yes.
That's
yes.
amazing. That's awesome.
Yes,
Amazing
yes,
man. Amazing. Thank
yes.
you, Dave.
God bless
God
you.
bless you.
Yes. All right, folks. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Everybody. God
Good
bless
night.
you.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, man.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. God
Bye-bye.
bless. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Oh, David's playing something. Go right ahead, Dave. We can't hear, or I can't hear. My audio is.
On the college shows, a day for Barrows passing big debate. Is he a true hero? The question of late, my opinion. Shouldn't get a day, shouldn't be given that treatment out here. Cause whosoever responsible for the linen up at the hospital, oh, them ain't get a day. Brand new elevator update, and it's outside lifting the grass I hear. Oh, them ain't get a day. The man who brought in the container, air conditioned units and enough liquor. Oh, he ain't get a day. I wonder how much money they stole. That people up there still on payroll. Oh, them ain't get a day. People from the town and the country planning to stop a big hotel. And it cost this country 3.3 million. Well, cow getting 1.5 million because he ain't get a contract and nobody got a day for that. That's why I say we must know who our heroes are. We must hail them from near and from far. We must know famous from notorious. That is a must here in Barbados. This nation was not built by our leaders alone. So many heroes out there are unknown. But I can't support the idea to pull a roll barrow down from our history book. It is fair. Leave a roll barrow there. Barbados! Right there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. National heroes, their contribution. We must credit those for the work they have done. Party persuasion, I suspect, causing tunnel vision and lack of respect. No. Let's not be that way. Come on, Bajans. Let's not be unfair. Cause two run away and come back to sue retail. One gone again, the next get bail. Oh, them ain't get a day. They're bold to show this beautiful country looking colonial like in 1940. Oh, them ain't get a day. The wrong approach they adopt about hey, come telling me all about child care. Oh, them ain't get a day. Pre-suit suppose sexual activity that's going on up at Glendale. Oh, I know them want a day. I thought it was over, but I was misled. Look, Chief Sue NCF instead. And she ain't get a day for raising the dead. Somebody gave a man under Miss Miller more money than the Prime Minister, and that party didn't get on her. That's why I say we must know who our heroes are. And we must hail them from near and from far. We must not famous from notorious. That is a must here in Barbados. This nation was not built by our leaders alone. So many heroes out there are unknown. But I can't support the idea to pull a roll barrow down from our history book. It is fair. Leave a roll barrow there. Right there. Come on, bitches, you gotta know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Heroes we see, but we keep forgetting that this country got enough heroin. I know that all won't be recognized, but some are right there in front of me eyes. Come on, visions. Let us get busy. Know the people who contributed greatly. They got road in the potholes up by me, and they went and patched the road recently. Oh, them ain't get a day. I spend money to make music yearly. Pirates make more money than me. Oh, them ain't get a day. Liz, she getting minister pay. She pick up garbage a whole damn day. Oh, she ain't get a day. When I watch my news at 7 o'clock, I don't hear Queen's Park, I just hear Queen's Park. Oh, them ain't get a day. You told all the people how he is a great hero. Father of independence, Cyril Walton Barrow. Now you come back and tell them, no, that is not so. Not so. You confusing the children, they don't know their heroes no more. For the children's sake, we must know who our heroes are. And we must hail them from near and from far. We must not say much from notorious. That is a must here in Barbados. This nation was not built by our leaders alone. So many heroes out there are unknown. But I can't support the idea to pull a roll barrow down from our history book. It is fair. Leave a roll barrow there. Right there. I'm telling you, yeah, Barbados, we got to know. We got to know. Yeah. John King advertised the lottery, and then he say how the robbery. Oh, them ain't get a day. They say how Edwin can win this time, but he needs something greater than peace sign. Oh, them ain't get a day. They don't want to be called Kaisonian, but they want to wear my Calypso crown. Oh, them ain't get a day. They're singing R&B, funk and disco. Come out here calling it Kaiso. Oh, them ain't get a day. Politics in this thing like hell, but not a fella in driving my Tercel. Oh, them ain't get a day.